Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma infa'ni bima 'allamtani wa 'allimni ma yanfa'uni wa zidni ilman. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So welcome back to this fifth episode of our fast track Arabic basic Quranic Arabic grammar course. In the last session, yesterday's session, we looked at the table which is in the light form. So I'm expecting, or is expected from the students, that now they know at least 4 tables. Muslimun table in the light and the heavy form, Muslimatun table in the light and the heavy form. So we looked at yesterday the concept of being light or heavy. So as I told you, right now we are every ism has got 4 properties, okay? Status, number, gender and type. In the last 4 sessions, or even this today's session, we are studying only the first property, status, which is the biggest of all. Of all the 4 properties, status is the one that takes most of the time, and that's the one which has the central crux of the grammar. The rest of them, yes, they are important, but they are not that new to us. We know gender, we know number, right? We know type also. It's the status part. So that's where the majority of the initial time is spent. Status has 4 items under it. Today I'm going to show you the flow chart so that you get a picture where we are and where we are heading towards. So the status has 4 properties. Status has 4 sub items. First was forms of status, which means rafa, nasb, jar, doer, details, after of. Second was how to tell the status. How do I tell the status if a word is given? Well, you can tell it based on 2 things. Either the word has ending combination or ending sound. That's how we decide. If it has ending combination, it will have ani, aini, una, ina, atun, atin. If it has ending sound, it will have un, an, in or tun, tan, tin. That's it. Based on that, we decide rafa, nasb, jar. That was the second aspect. The third aspect under status was weight. Every ism has got a weight, and the weight will be either light or heavy. Okay, how do I differentiate it? Well, if you pronounce the word and if you hear the noon sound, most probably it's a heavy word. Or if you are looking at the word and you see ending sound, un, an, in, or the ending combination, ani, aini, atun, atin, una, ina, then that means it is heavy. It is heavy. Okay, how do I make it light? Well, our issue is with the noon sound. If somehow you can get rid of the noon sound, you have made it light. Okay, but the catch, the caveat is you don't disturb any of the basic properties, status, number, gender. Okay, so if the word is kafirun, okay, how do I make it light? Well, kafirun seems to have a double dhamma on it. So just get rid of one dhamma, the word becomes kafiru. Now I don't hear the noon sound. So the word has become light. Okay, what about the word that are having ending combination? Ani, aini, una, ina. Well, in that case also, what you could do is, you could just get rid of the noon letter itself along with its harkat, along with its accent. Just drop it. So if the word is kafirina, okay, so I just drop the na, last na, and the final word I get is kafiri with the ya remaining there. That ya tells me, hey, I am plural, because this is ending in e, which is ina. So that's how you make the word in the light form. Whether the word is having ending combination or ending sound, does not matter. These are the 2 techniques. Now, why do we need to do that? There are reasons for it. And right now, even if I list you all the reasons, it will not make any sense, because those are just Arabic grammar jargons or just the terminologies. You will not understand anything. So what I'm going to do is, as we go on, I'm going to share the concept of a certain thing, and then I tell you, hey, look, here is the reason number 1. Why the word needs to be light. Here is the reason number 2. So once you understand the concept and then I tell you the reason, it will make more sense and you will understand why do we need this concept of light and heavy in the Arabic language. Okay? But right now, just remember, every ism has to be either light or heavy. By default, all the isms are heavy. So if I see a ending sound, un, an, in, tun, tan, tin, normal. If I see ending combination, ani, aini, una, ina, atun, atin, normal. But if I see a word which is kafiri or muslima, something like that, then that's where, as a student of grammar, as a student of language, I need to pause and try to find out why the word is light. Why is it light? Because unless and until I understand the reason, I won't be able to interpret it properly. Because the language is telling me that word was intentionally made light. But why? Okay, because of this XYZ reason. Oh, so because of this XYZ. So which means I should interpret this as this. Yes, that's what it means. Okay. So right, that's where we are finished yesterday. If anybody has any question, you are free to shoot. Otherwise, I'm going to share the slide and get started with today's topic. And we are going to get started with the exercise of recognizing whether the word is light or heavy. So, come on. Okay, so this is the one. And I have shared the screen. So hopefully everybody is able to see it. If you are not, you are able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Session number 5. Okay. So since we have finished the theoretical part yesterday, let's do a little bit of practice. As I told you, our custom is the moment we learn something, we immediately apply on the Qur'an. So let's try to apply the light heavy concept on some of the words from the Qur'an, see if we are comfortable with it. Okay, so I'm going to randomly choose the names, no preference here. Okay, brother Rais, here's the word for you. Can you read it?
Yes.
Ikra min fadlik, please read. You are muted, come on, quickly. You are muted, brother. Annasu. Tell me, is it light or heavy?
Light.
Why is that so?
Because there is no noon sound in ending.
That's right. Now, technically, this answer is not correct. But if I just consider the concept of light and heavy, you are right. But actually, last thing we said yesterday was, if the word is having al, we don't do light or heavy stuff with that. So the more precise answer would have been, this is a NA question, not applicable, because there is al on it. But yes, if I remove al, then the word is light. Nasu would be light. Yes. But keep in mind, whenever you get a word with the al, the answer for the weight, only weight. Other stuff we do it, only weight we say, we don't do it. Okay, fine. Yeah, Samira ma'am.
Sir,
Yes.
I didn't get you, sir. Please repeat it.
You didn't get what?
Actually, your voice got fluctuated, sir, in between, so I didn't get what you said.
Okay, I said that whenever a word is having al, we don't do the business of light and heavy with such words. Any other word we do light and heavy, but if it has a al, we don't do the business. Why? I will let you know later. That's what I said.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's go to Sumayya ma'am. You are there? Okay, the students are going to take long time. Okay, anyway, I'm going to just pop up the word and you guys can go ahead, because I need quick answers, because we have only half an hour. If I start doing this like a normal class, we are going to need another Ramadan. Okay, go ahead. Anybody, read it. Wahidatin. Is it light or heavy? Heavy, yes.
Heavy.
Because we are seeing the word and the word has an ending sound on it. And also I can hear the noon. Wahidatin, heavy. Okay, what about this? Light. There is only one kasra. I don't hear any noon sound. It is light. Nafsi is light. Okay, what about this? Heavy.
Heavy.
Yes, it's heavy. Okay, next. Light?
Heavy.
Heavy. It has ending sound and I can hear the noon. Huban. Heavy. Okay, what about this word?
Khali.
Light.
What is the heavy form of this? What is the heavy form? Yes. Don't tell me Khalidin, because if it was Khalidin there won't be no ya. If there is a ya, that means you should be careful. It is e, so it should be ina. Khalidina has been made light.
Khali.
Yes. So this is the light form of Khalidina. Okay. What about this? Light. Right. Everybody take part in this discussion. Don't think that you can sit quietly in a corner. I can understand everything. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to participate. Okay, Rubu, it is light. What about this?
Light.
What's the heavy form? Heavy form. Yes, that wow should tell you it should be akrabuna, not akrabu. Akrabun, akrabuna. Akrabuna. Okay, what about this last one?
Not applicable. Not applicable.
Yeah, some of them said heavy, some of them said not applicable. Actually, it is not applicable. But if I remove al, then it is heavy. If I remove al, then it is heavy. Okay, fine, good. Any questions on this slide? Anybody not getting anything? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so as I told you, there are some reasons that the word become light, and all in all, there are 4 reasons. All in all, there are 4 reasons for a word to be light. Remember, you should always know what is the default for the word. For example, the word should be rafa by default. The word should be masculine by default. The word should be heavy by default. Only when I know what is default, then only I will know what has changed. Otherwise, I will never know. So you should always remember this. What are the defaults for an ism? Okay, rafa, masculine, heavy. That's a default. Which means normally the word should always have one of these ending on it. Either ani, aini, una, ina, atun, atin, un, an, in. I need this. If any of this is missing, then the word is light. Then the word is light. And as I told you, there are 4 reasons for it. Right now the reasons are blank. As we go on further in our studies, you will come back to this slide and fill it. Reason number 1, reason number 2, 3 and 4 and so on. Okay, so that's why we are keeping the reasons blank here. Fine. Okay, going further. Okay, here is the flowchart that I was talking about. Okay, because when I was studying basics, this was 2006, so 14 plus 9, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, when I was studying like you, I was understanding the concept individually, whatever was being taught in the class. But in the bigger picture, I was like, where is this? I mean, I was getting confused. So one day I sat down and I made a flow chart of it so that I can tell I was not as smart as you are or the other students were. So I had to make this flow chart to make myself understand where I am in the study, where does weight fit, where does the status fit, where does the number fit. So I made this flow chart. So if you can look at the screen, we are learning Arabic language. Arabic has 3 parts of speech. Right now we are studying only status, number, gender, type we are going to study. Under status there are 4 items, as I told you: forms of status, how to tell status, weight of the status, and the last item under is the flexibility of the status. Now if I zoom in and zoom this flow chart, this is what I get. Under status I have 4 items: forms of status, which means rafa, nasb, jar, doer, detail, after off. How to tell the status, which means based on ending sound or ending combination. Ending combination could be pair, rafa, nasb, jar, rnj, okay, and then plural rafa, nasb, jar, and then feminine plural rafa, nasb, jar, because feminine plural is different than the masculine. It's atun and atin. So these are the 4 items under how to tell. And then the next item was weight, which is having 2 options, light and heavy. This is what we have completed so far. Now what remains is the last item under the status, flexibility. Now once you look at this flow chart, you get an idea where we started and where we are. So this was helping me personally to understand bigger picture. Rather than the small individual isolated items, I was able to get the bigger picture. Okay, so now I know where my study is going and how I should relate to. That's why I made this flowchart. This was not the part of the Bayyana syllabus. Anyway, and this is, if I zoom in the status, this is what I get. Forms of status, how to tell status, weight, flexibility. Under flexibility, there are 3 items. Because this is like a very hierarchical thing, that's why this flowchart helps. This flowchart helps you to understand and put the concept in the right perspective. Okay, so let's try to finish this last topic, flexibility, so that we can be done with the status as of today, and from tomorrow onwards we can start focusing on the number, gender, type. They don't take much time. One session each is good enough. So if we are able to finish this today, then tomorrow we will finish number in detail, day after tomorrow gender in detail, and then the type. That will take care of our basics of isms. And after that, if you are finding this interesting, after 3-4 days you will find it more interesting, because now we will be going beyond single word. But let's do first thing first, flexibility. Okay, what do you mean by flexibility? Somebody quickly give me the definition, basic definition, flexibility. Anything that you understand?
Can change it easily.
Yes, that's the basic definition. Anything that is flexible, it doesn't break even if you bend it. It is ready to change to a certain extent. It is ready to bend. It is ready to get modified. That's what is called as flexible. Sometimes we use this word with the human beings also. Oh, that doctor is very flexible. Why? Because he or she accommodates. In emergency situation, she is ready to accommodate even without appointment. So she is very flexible. So flexible means they are ready to change. So in Arabic also, the words have flexibility. The words have flexibility. And what do you mean by that? Well, that's what we will see here. So there are basically 3 types of flexibility. Okay. One is fully flexible, which means normal. It's completely flexible. You mold it as much as you want, it will bend it as much as you want. The word, okay, function wise. That's fully flexible. The opposite of it, non-flexible or inflexible, as they call it. Non-flexible or inflexible, which means the word will not change. No matter what you do, it's not going to budge. It's going to remain in the status that it is, or in the, I don't say status, in the form that it is. It will show the same form. That's non-flexible. And in the middle of these two is something called as partially flexible words. So there are fully flexible, there are non-flexible, and there are partially flexible words. So let's go one by one into this. So first was fully flexible. Well, you don't need to really study it because this is the default. This is what we have been studying in the last 4 sessions. All the words that we looked at in the Muslimun table, Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimani, Muslimatun, all these words are fully flexible. All these words are fully flexible. Now, what do I mean by fully flexible? What is that feature I'm checking for? Well, the feature is, by now you might be thinking like, okay, every word when it is rafa, nasb, jar, it's going to change the ending. Yes, that is true for most of the words, but not all the words behave like that. Like in English, every word that begins with P, the person who is learning English language, he or she thinks that every time I see P, the sound will be of P. Parrot, put, push. So every time you see P, there will be a P sound. But what happens when they grow up in the English language and suddenly come across the word psychology? Now they are confused. What is this? You said P means P sound. I don't hear any P sound. Well, that's the advanced language for you. Same thing here. Most of the words do change their ending when they are either acting as rafa or nasb or jar. If it is rafa, it will be un. If it is nasb, it will be an. If it is jar, it will be in. So they will modify their ending based on what role they are playing. Yes, that is true for most of the words, not for all the words. That's where this flexibility comes into concept. So those are fully flexible words. But if the word does not behave like that, then there is another flexibility called as partially flexible word. Okay, what do these words do? Well, these words also change their ending, but only to a little bit, certain extent, not beyond that. कोई लोग होते हैं वो accommodate करते हैं, flexible होते हैं, but थोड़ा ही, आप ज़्यादा उनको bend करने की जरूरत, then they will like, okay, give away. No, that's it. So they are flexible, but only little extent. That's what this is, partially flexible word. And then there is non-flexible. आप कुछ भी कर लो, I'm not going to change. I am like this. If you want to accept me like this, accept it. Otherwise, leave it. Those are non-flexible words. Okay. So as I told you, fully flexible words are all the words from the Muslimun table or any word that matches the Muslimun table, which means the word, any word which changes its ending based on rafa nasb jar, it's a fully flexible word. Okay. So what are partially flexible words? Well, before we look at what are the partially flexible words, you need to take a look at some of the features of these words which are partially flexible words. First of all, these words, which will we see some examples, they are allergic to two things. They have allergy to two things. What are those? One is kasra. They don't like kasra, जिसको आप जेर बोलते हो ना, इस word पे कभी भी जेर नहीं लगेगा. They don't take kasra. They don't like kasra. Yeah, that's their one thing. The other thing that they are allergic to is tanween. They don't like tanween. Tanween means double dhamma, double fatha, double kasra. They don't like it. So these are the two things you should look for. If there is a word which is showing allergic or which is being allergic to taking a kasra, it should take a kasra but it's not taking it, or it should have a tanween, it doesn't have it, that's a sign of a partially flexible word. Those are the two things that it doesn't like. There are other two things which are related to partially flexible word which will help you to figure out that the word is partially flexible word. Mostly, in the most of the cases. What are the two things? Partially flexible word usually belong to one of the two categories. Partially flexible word. What are those two categories? One is the location name. Any location name, city name, country name, town name, village name, any name. Usually, this will be a partially flexible word. That's a big sign. Any location name is a partially flexible word. That's the one of the two category. The other category that usually has partially flexible types of words is non-Arab names. Non-Arab names. Any names that are considered as foreign by the Arab community. Any name that were considered as foreign or outside are considered as non-Arab names. Those will be partially flexible word. So partially flexible word, four things you should remember. Two things they are allergic to. They don't take kasra, they don't like tanween. Two things that help us to figure out partially flexible word. Location name, कोई भी जगह का नाम, शहर का नाम, गांव का नाम, तालुके का नाम, country का नाम, location name, or non-Arab names. They will be partially flexible word. Okay? When I show you example, it will become more clear. Now, let's go to the third category. Non-flexible word. As I told you, non-flexible means they are not flexible. They don't show any effect of status change, which means when these words change from rafa to nasb, nasb to jar, or jar to rafa, whatever it is, you will not see their endings changed. They show the same face. You know, there are some kids or some people around us. When you look at them, you really can't tell whether that person is happy, upset, overjoyed, angry. You can't tell because he or she always gives you the same face, as they call it in that card play game, poker face. Poker face means the face is same. You can't make it out. Are you happy? Are you upset? You can't. So these non-flexible words are something like that. They show you the same face. So it is little bit difficult to figure out, is this word working as rafa or nas or jar? I can't tell because this guy is not changing his ending. That's what is called as non-flexible word. So because they don't show any change, they look the same in the three different statuses. Rafa का चेहरा भी वैसा ही दिखेगा, नस्ब का चेहरा भी वैसा ही दिखेगा, jar का चेहरा भी वैसे ही दिखेगा. So some students might be thinking, okay, so how will I figure it out? Well, don't worry, it's not that difficult. We have ways to figure out. ऐसे लोगों का भी पता लगाना आता है हमको कि ये खुश हैं या नाराज़ हैं या अपसेट हैं या गुस्से में हैं. We still can figure out. If you ask couple of questions, you will figure out whether they are happy or they are upset, right? Same thing with these words. We can figure out whether they are rafa nasb jar. Okay? Is that theoretical concept good enough? I know it is not very clear because it is only theory. When I show you the example, it will become clear. But this is the flexibility concept. Every ism will have a flexibility. Every ism, and by default it should be fully flexible. Again, this is the default there. Default is very important. Only when you know it is not default, then only you will try to investigate and find out why. Okay, fine. Let's take a look at some examples. So fully flexible, as I told you, हमको ये पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ये डिफ़ॉल्ट है, जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं ज़्यादा करके सब fully flexible है. So for example, if you say Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, if a word behaves like this, it's a fully flexible word because I can easily make out rafa nasb jar. So if you can do that, that's a fully flexible word. So what we need to study is non-flexible and partially flexible. Remaining everything is fully flexible. Okay. Now let's look at the opposite of it, non-flexible. Okay. So as I told you, non-flexible words look the same in all the three statuses. So how do I figure it out? Well, one of the signs or one of the clue that you can get a hint that maybe this is a non-flexible word is when you pronounce this word, you will always feel like there is an alif at the end. Most of the time the alif might not be there or it may be there. But when you pronounce it, you will hear the alif sound. For example, Bushra. I see a student also here, right? Is there a Bushra student? I think. Anyway, so Bushra. Did you hear the A sound? Yes. Bushra is a non-flexible word. Musa, non-flexible word. Isa, non-flexible word. Haza, non-flexible word. So every time you hear this A sound, as if the alif is there, you will get a clue this might be the non-flexible word as you see on the screen. Musa, Huda, Husna, Haza, Yahya, Zakaria. These are all non-flexible words. So Musa is a non-flexible word. So you might have come across this word Musa many times. In the khutbah, while reading Qur'an, in the hadith, and so many times. Musa is mentioned many times more than any other prophet, right? Musa. But have you heard of the word Musi or Musu? No. Because if this word was fully flexible, I should hear Musu, Musa, Musi. But I always hear Musa. Why? Because this is a non-flexible word. So irrespective of whether it is working as a rafa, nasb or jar, I'm going to hear Musa only. I'm going to hear Musa. Why? Because this is a non-flexible word. They don't change their endings. They do change their status, but the status change is not shown by them by changing the ending. So don't think that, okay, status change nahi hota. No, status change hota hai. The word Musa becomes rafa nasb jar. The difference is it doesn't show you in a usual conventional way. We have to figure it out. We have to do little bit of more work to figure it out. जैसे साइकोलॉजी में पी कौन सा वर्ड कब साइलेंट रहेगा, we'll have to study little bit more English grammar to figure out what is the rule for understanding that there is a silent letter here. So by default people will, like they say plumber. Plumber, there is no such word as plumber in English. It's plumber. Many of us don't know it, that it's plumber. B is silent. How do I know it? Well, you'll have to see the rules when it becomes silent, or if there is a rule or not. But there is no plumber, there is no depth, it's det, right? Same thing. So every language has got its own unique design and architecture, and there are weirdness in it. But since we are studying the grammar of Arabic language, many a times the student gets a feeling, oh my God, this is weird. How come you have such a, this is difficult? No, every language has got weirdness and oddness. Try to study English grammar in detail. You will see there are much more weirdness than the Arabic. So this is one of the thing in the Arabic language. It makes the grammatical analysis challenging because the words are non-flexible and partially flexible. Okay. Now let's take a look at the third type, partially flexible word, which is the most important of all these three, because you will come across this more frequently. Partially flexible word. Okay. As I told you, these words, they are two things. They are always light. They don't take tanween. Does that raise any flag when I say they are always light? Does that raise anything? Does that bring something? Does that demand a comment? Huh?
There is no known sound in it.
Yeah, so does that, what does that lead us to?
So, one reason.
Lightweight.
Exactly. Here comes your reason number one. I told you 4 reasons for a word to be light. Reason number 1. If the word is light, maybe it's a partially flexible word. Because it doesn't like tanween. That's why I told you I need to explain you the concept, then tell you the reason. If I list you all the 4 reasons, you will not understand anything. If before this flexible topic, if I had told you reason number 1 for a word to be light, it might be partially flexible word, everybody will like, what partially flexible word? You will not understand. That's why I have to teach you the concept, then point out reasons number 1, 2, 3 and 4, so on. This is reason number 1. So if you come across a light word in Quran while reading it, one of the reason is the word might be partially flexible word. Okay? And also, as I told you, it doesn't take kasra. Okay? And because it doesn't take kasra, it looks the same in nasb and jar form. What's the difference between nasb and jar form? In nasb it is fatha, in jar it is kasra. But these words don't take kasra, so they will remain in the fatha form only. I mean, they will at least show that. They do go to jar, but they look the same. Their face will be same. So they have a different face for rafa and one more face for nasb and jar, partially flexible word, because they don't take kasra. Okay? That's about the partially flexibility. Here are some examples so that to make the concept a bit more clear or unambiguous. Look at this. If I take a fully flexible word and try to write it in rafa nasb jar form, let's take the word saleh. Saleh is a fully flexible word. If I write in rafa nasb jar form, it will look like this. Salihun, salihan, salihin. Why? Because this is a fully flexible word. It changes its ending based on the role it is playing. Right. Now, if I take a non-flexible word, let's say for example Musa, how would the word Musa look in rafa nasb jar form? It will look like this. Musa, Musa, Musa. No difference. No difference. Looks the same. And one of the biggest sign to figure out that the word might be 99% non-flexible, it will have a alif maksura at the end, the one that you see on the screen. That looks like a ya, but its sound is a. Alif maksura. Maksura means broken, the broken alif. Okay? So that is a sign the word might be non-flexible. Because alif maksura does not take any fatha dhamma kasra. It doesn't like it. उसके सर के ऊपर वो कुछ भी रखना नहीं चाहता. So अगर कुछ भी रखना नहीं चाहता, then it will look the same. Okay? That's why Musa, Musa, Musa. And if you take a partially flexible word like the word Yusuf, Yusuf is a partially flexible word. In Rafa, it will look Yusufu. In Nasb, it will look Yusufa. And in Jar, it will look, please help me out. Yusufa only. Because it doesn't take kasra. It doesn't like kasra. So he said, hey, I don't want kasra on me, okay? Put everything you want on me, no kasra. I don't like it. So okay, so it Yusufa remains Yusufa. But the third Yusufa is Jar. Second is Nasb. How to figure it out? We'll see it later. But this is how it is. Okay? So now I hope you get the idea what we are talking about. When, depending upon the flexibility of the word, this is how the words may behave. Okay? So what we need to study is the partially and the non-flexible. Non-flexible bhi bahut kam hai. The main, if you really want to understand, is partially flexible word. That's the important part of it. Okay? Let's see. Yes.
Sir, having a doubt.
Yes. Please go ahead.
The light words can take kasra, but why the partially flexible don't take kasra?
Light verbs? No. You see, becoming light is it's one of the thing of the feature of it. Light doesn't mean always partially flexible word. Light are 4 reasons. A heavy word could also become a light. I mean, a fully flexible word. A fully flexible word, let's say Zaid. Zaid can become light. Zaidu, Zaida, Zaidi. But Zaid is not a partially flexible word. It's a fully flexible word. So light and heavy concept is different. Flexibility concept is different. When we are saying partially flexible word, we say the word which is partially flexible word will not take kasra. That's why it becomes light. We are not saying that every light word does not take kasra. No, Zaid takes it. Muslim will take it. Muslimi, it takes its kasra. So don't take it the other way. It is the other way you should think, not this way. Every light word does not mean partially flexible word. Every partially flexible word means light word. Okay? It's like saying everyone from every Maharashtrian is an Indian, but not every Indian is a Maharashtrian. Okay? So look it from this way. So every partially flexible word will not take kasra. But every word that is light does not mean partially flexible word. So don't mix these two concepts. So partially flexible word, as I told you, to figure that out, you have two main categories that you can take help to figure out whether this is partially flexible or not. Names of places and non-Arab names. Okay, so there are like maybe 10,000 non-Arab names. So would you like to memorize all those so that you know what are the partially flexible words? Because non-Arab names are partially flexible word. So that is one way you can memorize those thousands and thousands of non-Arab names and make a carry, okay, these are all non-Arab, so they will be partially flexible word. Or there is an easy way. Just remember the Arab names. Rest everything is non-Arab. Okay? So I'll give you the easy way. Just remember the Arab names. The Arab names can be counted on the finger. So just remember these 4 names. Rest everything is non-Arab. That's the easy way. So what are the 4 Arab names? Okay? The 4 Arab names, first is Saleh. First is Saleh. So the Arab names will be fully flexible. Non-Arab names, partially flexible word or maybe non-flexible. Okay? So this is fully flexible. Saleh will be fully flexible because it is an Arab name. The second Arab name, second name that is considered as Arab is Hud. Hud. The third name is Shu'aib. This is also Arab. And the fourth name, do I need to tell you? Fourth name that is considered as Arab? Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's the fourth name. These are the 4 names that are considered as Arab. So if you memorize this 4 name, any other name comes, most probably it is going to be partially flexible or non-flexible. So it makes our job easy. I don't need to worry how many non-Arab names are there. Okay? Saleh, Hud, Shu'aib, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. All these are Arab names, which means they will behave fully flexibly. They will show full flexibility compared to the others. Is that clear? Questions?
Sir, only these 4 names are Arab names, not like Maryam, Fatima, and
Okay, we are talking about the male names first of all. Second thing, we are talking about names that occur in Qur'an. We are studying Qur'an Arabic, so we are going to have the problem when we read Qur'an. So as far as Qur'an reading is concerned, Qur'an text is concerned, these 4 names are Arab names. Rest any names comes, it will be non-Arab name. Okay, so this is with respect to Qur'an. And we are talking about the male names here. Female names have different features. We'll see that later. Female names that we are talking about, different features. And female names mostly are partially flexible word. Most of the
Sir, one more question. Ibrahim, Ismail alayhi salam, these are also non-Arab names?
They are non-Arab names. That's the shocking. Now mind you, what I am saying, they are non-Arab names. I am not saying they are non-Muslim names. Okay, there's a difference between that. Yes, all the names you take, Ibrahim, Yusuf, Yunus, Ishaq, any name you take, Ismail, they are all non-Arab names. You see, we Indo-Pak people or Indian subcontinent people, we think that anything that is non-Indian and in the Gulf, it's Arab. No, it is not like that. The Arab Peninsula was very small, where the Quraysh used to live. So whatever was outside their vicinity is foreign. So Ibrahim was not one of their name. It came from the Sham area, from this other area, right? Even though for us it's a Gulf, for them it was non-Arab name. So it's like there are some names, the people in Maharashtra can easily make out, is he Maharashtrian or not? Like Sachin, the famous cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar. The moment you hear Kar, it's Maharashtrian. It's Maharashtrian, right? So if you see a Kar name outside the Maharashtra, if somebody has it, you say, oh, this is the foreign name. This is from Maharashtra. If somebody in Karnataka has that Kar name, oh, he's foreign to Karnataka. Because that's not there. Reddy, that's a Telangana or Andhra Pradesh thing. So these names, Trivedi, oh, you go to the Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, whatever it is, there it is. So this area specific names are there and we can easily make out from which area is coming. That's what they had. So these were the only names occurring in Quran that are from the Arab. The rest, everything was outside of it. So we are talking about Quran, okay? Fine. Now let's do a little bit of exercise here to check.
Sir, I had one question.
Go ahead.
Sir, non-flexible words will mostly be names. Will it mostly be names of people, non-flexible.
Well,
Examples that we gave.
what we are
Husna, Bushra, Musa.
right, basically we are dealing with the names here. Yes, those will be the names of it, and basically we are dealing with the singular entities here. This concept of flexibility applies to names and the singular entity only. We don't export it to the other part. So this is what we are talking about. Flexibility is about these words only. Yes. Okay, let's take a look at this quick exercise so that we get this out of our way. This word Muhammad, if this was written in Rafa Nasb Jar, give me the three forms of this word quickly.
Muhammadun, Muhammadin, Muhammadun, Muhammadin.
So, right, Muhammadun, Muhammadan, Muhammadin. Why? Because this is a fully flexible word.
Only flexible.
Yes, give me the three for Ismail. Quickly.
Ismailu, Ismaila,
Ismailu, Ismaila, Ismaila.
Yes, that's how it will be. First of all, get rid of tanween. Why? Non-Arab name. Don't put kasra. Why? Non-Arab name. That's it. Ismailu, Ismaila, Ismaila. So now you will know when you are reading Quran, why am I seeing these words like this? Why don't I go and find out if any of these words have tanween on in Quran? You will not find it. Why? This is the reason. This is the reason you don't find tanween on these words. By default, they are light. That's the reason number one. What about Yunus?
Yunusu,
Yunusu,
Yunusa, Yunusa.
Yeah. I only hear female voices, and that too the 3 or 4 particular frequency. Rest everybody is like quiet spectator, warm, cozy inside the blanket. They might have also fallen asleep. No other sounds. Okay, so Yunus, Yunusu, Yunusa, Yunusa. What about Hud?
Hudun, Hudin.
Yes. Hudun, Hudan, Hudin. What about Musa?
Musa.
Same on the.
Somebody said five times Musa. Only 3 statuses. Musa. Okay. Okay. It's already difficult for some students, and you are adding 2 more statuses into it. Okay. What about this name? Yes. Fir'aunu, Fir'auna, Fir'auna. Okay? Fir'aunu, Fir'auna, Fir'auna. So I hope you got the idea about flexibility now. How do we deal it? And when we are reading Quran, we should not be surprised why these words are being treated like this. Okay? Let's do a little bit different exercise to close this stuff. Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
The one question, sir.
Please.
How about the word nu?
How about the?
Word nu.
How about the word nu? Okay, so these should be some of the our own student. Arjuman ma'am. What about the word no? Okay, there are, you see, from my 10 years of working as a teacher, even though as you already know now, I was not a teacher to begin with. From my 10 years of experience, I have realized that sometimes not teaching is also a good sign of a good teacher. Not teaching all the things or certain things at certain times. So there are some things which are intentionally omitted. Even though that might be related, it's intentionally omitted. Why? Because it might cause more harm than the benefit. It might have little benefit in it, but it might cause more harm. And this question is one of those category. What about nu? Well, yes, the word nu occurs in Quran, and if you see it, it is being treated as fully flexible. It is being treated as fully flexible. So the question arises, why, sir? You told there are only 4 names. Now I have got nu, and the nu is fully flexible. Well, as of now, just ignore that, because there are reasons for. You gave me nu, I will give you one more. Luth. Luth is also there. That's also fully flexible. But as I told you, at this time in this course, we don't want to bring those things and exceptions into picture and make the thing more complex, especially for those students who are already finding it little bit not so easy, so we don't want to make things difficult. Good question, but Arjuman ma'am, you can ask me separately, privately. I will try to answer because you are already into the advanced course. If you don't know it really, I will answer it there, but not here. Okay, so for the benefit of other students, we will deal it. If you continue a course to advance 1, 2, 3, you will get the answers to all these questions. But at this moment, we want to keep this syllabus basic, so we don't want to touch those topics because there will be too many exceptions then. What all you will remember? You are just getting started, and I put all these exceptions. You know, there will be exception and this and that, and don't want to make it. Keep it simple, sweet. There is some reason for it, and we will see that when we go to the advanced part. Let's see. Here is a little bit of different exercise. Okay, you have to look at the word which is colored red, and then tell me the flexibility of it and the reason for it. The very first word, here is the one. And I will also show you the translation so that it helps you out to figure out the status. Millata Ibrahima. The translation comes, the nation of Ibrahim. The nation of Ibrahim. Tell me, which flexibility?
Partially
Why?
Partially
Why?
flexible.
Why?
Because it's a non-Arab name and it will remain same in nasb jar.
That's one reason. That's a good reason. There is one more reason. Can you take a deeper look at the words English and Arabic and tell me there is one more reason for you?
It's also after.
You see that in the translation, the word Ibrahim is coming after off, but I don't see kasra there. Why? That's another reason that this word doesn't take kasra because because it's a partially flexible word. See, had you come across this sentence in the Quran before today's session, you would be confused. Oh, sir taught us that after off there should be a kasra. I see of the word Ibrahim coming after off, but there is no kasra. That's why you need to keep learning. There are things that we need to explore. So Ibrahim word is partially flexible word. That's why you written Ibrahima. It doesn't. You will never find in Quran Ibrahimi. Even if you say house of Ibrahim, if there was a word, it would be Baitu Ibrahima, not Baitu Ibrahimi, because it doesn't take kasra. It's a partially flexible word. Okay. PF. Okay. This doesn't mean provident fund. It's partially flexible word. Here's another one. What's the flexibility of this? Yes. Muqimus salati. Muqimas salati. The establisher of prayer. What flexibility?
Fully flexible.
Fully flexible.
Fully flexible.
Why? Well, I see of and the word is taking kasra. Who does this? Who does this? This is a fully flexible feature. You don't need to study all the fully flexible word. Just look at the word, how it is behaving. It is taking kasra. Only fully flexible takes kasra. That's it. So salati is salatu, salata, salati, or salatun, salatan, salatin. It can become. Okay, what about this? Ajrul amilina. Why is it fully flexible?
Because no, it is partially. No, sorry.
Why is it fully flexible? Huh?
It's in the Muslim family.
That's it. No, not Muslimun family. It matches with the Muslimun table. Ina. It's not Muslimun family, but it matches with the Muslimun table. Ina. Jisko bhi ina, ani, aini lag jata hai. That's it. Any word. That's why that table is very important. It's going to help us in everything. Any word matches that ending. Fully flexible. Fully flexible word. As I told you, the majority of the words are fully flexible. There are only a handful of those, the non-flexible and partially flexible. The majority of the pool is fully flexible. What about this? Al-Kitabu, the book.
Fully flexible.
Why? Why? Why?
Because of all it has.
No. Al is not the reason. I can remove al. Okay, if I remove al, then what happens? You can't tell it is flexible.
It can become kitab.
Okay. All those reasons are good. Let me give you a better way of thinking it. Better way of thinking it.
Sir, it is a light form of a Muslim table.
No, it is not light form. It is not light form. Al takes away the tanween. Al does not make the word light. Okay? If it made the word light, I would have told you reason number one. No, it just takes away the tanween. Here is the thing. How you should think. Shahana ma'am, can you keep your mic muted, please? Okay, here is the thing.
Yes.
When such words are given, al-kitabu, okay, how do I know the flexibility of it? You should do the thinking this way. Does it have alif maksura at the end? No. Okay. Is it a name of the location? No. Is it a name of a non-prophet, a non-Arab? No. Okay. So, which means it is not non-flexible, not partially flexible. It has to be fully flexible. That's how you should think. Rather than thinking all the word, there is a al, there is a dhamma. No. Just think it. जो कम वाला वो features check करो उसमें है क्या नहीं. अलिफ मकसूरा दिख रहा है, लोकेशन नेम है, नॉन अरब नेम है, नहीं है. That's it, fully flexible. Easy answer. Instead of fiddling with thousands of words, do this. Just like assuming everything masculine, unless the word tells me feminine. This is easier rather than memorizing all the masculine names. No, I just remember the feminine signs. The rest everything is masculine for me. Same thing here. Check. Is the word non-flexible? Does it have a feature of a non-flexible or partially flexible? No, I don't think so. That's it. It's fully flexible. What about this?
Non-flexible. Non-flexible.
Non-flexible. There is a alif maksura at the end. It will not take any dhamma fatha kasra. Non-flexible. Easy. Non-flexible. So वो ऐसे साइंस याद रखो जो नॉन फ्लेक्सिबल और पार्शियली फ्लेक्सिबल, बाकी सारा फुल्ली फ्लेक्सिबल. Make your life easy. There are only too many tough things in our life. Let's make at least the grammar learning easy. Okay, any questions on this? I think I have gone 5 minutes more, but I think I can't break the topic. Let's finish it. Yeah, that's gone. That's it. That was the last one. Okay, tell me any questions, anything you have.
Sir, you have told haza is a non-flexible word, but it has alif at the last.
That's what I told.
Not alif.
That's what I told. The non-flexible words, one of the sign is when you pronounce them, you will hear a sound. That a might be because of alif or might be because of alif maksura. So in the haza, you see that alif there, but that alif is not pronounced. Actually, you are not pronouncing haza. No, it is haza. There is no alif is not pronounced. Zakaria had a alif. So there may be alif, there may not be alif. The important thing is the sound, a sound. That is the clue to non-flexible. And bigger than that, if you are seeing, just see if there is a alif maksura there. That's the biggest sign of non-flexibility. That's the biggest sign. Yes. That's it. No more questions?
आपने क्या चीज बताई कि एक तो अलिफ मकसूरा देखना है और दूसरा क्या है?
किसके बारे में पूछ रहे? For non-flexible, majority of the words will have alif maksura. Majority of the non-flexible word will have alif maksura. Or if you are hearing the pronunciation, अगर आ end में, नाम के end में आ की आवाज़ आ रही है, that could be a sign that this is a non-flexible. आ की sound usually alif maksura से ही आती है. कभी कभी अलिफ से भी आ सकती है. तो ये सब नॉन फ्लेक्सिबल नेम्स हैं. पार्शियली फ्लेक्सिबल वर्ड आप ध्यान रखो कि ये लोकेशन का नाम है या नॉन अरब नेम है क्या, वो चांसेस ज़्यादा है. और भी इसमें और भी मज़ीद साइंस हैं, बट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट गेटिंग स्टार्टेड इन द बेसिक कोर्स. We can't dump everything. So this is how you a primer kind of a course where you get started. Okay, but these are the two main signs. Yes.
Is there any particular surah, for example, abhi to understanding ho gaya, but until and unless we put it into practice, like मेरे लिए especially अभी ये concept तो समझ गया, but I have a fear कि जब तक मैं उसको example form में solve ना करूँ, I am not that confident कि concept clear है. So is there any particular surah or particular verses wherein in the Qur'an we can search by ourselves and then inshallah get corrected by you? जैसे हम exercise देते हैं ना कि कोई ये surah है तो उसमें आप flexible word निकालिए, तो कोई particular है?
नहीं, the benefit that you and me have is we already have a book called as Qur'an with us to practice whatever you have studied. Let's say I want to study flexibility. Okay, so I will take any surah, especially if you want to. Surah Baqarah is a very good surah because it has everything in it. Or you can take the last 10 surah that we recite. Pick up any ism. You should know the signs of ism. The signs of ism is they will have a tanween or an ending combination on it. Or just look at the translation. Pick up any ism and see, practice it. What could be the flexibility of it? Yes, there are so many isms in the last 10 surahs. Also, there are so many isms. Al-Fil, that's a ism, right? Wan-Nas, that's a ism. So there are so many words that you can see there, all the isms, and then practice the weight part of it, the flexibility part of it, anything that you want to pick up any ism, and then you can practice it. So last 10 surahs would be the best, because we recite it in the salah and everything. So if we know more about it, it will improve our salah when we know the more thing about it. Okay, it's a fully flexible word, it's a light word, it's a masculine word, it's a singular word. All these things we can easily practice on it, on the Quran, in the last 10 surahs, you could say. Yeah.
Okay, so inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. If not, inshallah, we'll stop here. I really apologize. I went a little bit bored, but we at least finished the flexibility. So we are done with the status part of it. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll try to finish number, then gender, and then type, inshallah. Okay? Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.